All right, let's go. Welcome back into the Skooshi Sports podcast and your global sports roundup for the week, where I give you the latest sporting news from around the globe in the last week that's not NRL news. And there's been obviously plenty of action heading into the first week of the new year in 2026. And before I get started, let's just address the elephant in the room, because oh my goodness, I feel like I have been to hell and back in the last 24 hours. Obviously, I started this podcast, 6 months ago. I get it. I'm still building my audience from the ground up pretty early on. From the the brighter side of things, it could have more subscribers, could have more followers, and this could have happened. YouTube terminated my original channel, feels like my baby. This is like my pride and joy. I love doing this. It's what I want to do in the future. What I want to do as a career. And it got terminated last night. Got an email for scams, spams, and deceptive practices, which I have no idea what I've done to do that, to get terminated. So I am still in the middle of sussing that out, trying to get it back. Done an appeal. Didn't work. I'm not sure what's really happened. So been a massive bummer the last 24 hours, but honestly, I just got to keep chugging it. So if it's something I want to do, I just got to find ways around it and start a new channel. So if you are new, if you were like a loyal listener to me, I obviously really appreciate it. Remember to go check out and subscribe to my new channel on YouTube. If you're listening on Spotify, please head to YouTube to type in Skooshi Sports. Give the channel a subscribe and like the video as well. Let's build this again. I'm going to come back even harder, even better as well. I'm going to keep doing my thing, right? You can't shut me down after 5-6 months. I'm going to put up a fight for this. And I'm going to try and get my original channel back, because it's just really stuffed around a whole lot of things, honestly. And I was going to record last night, and half an hour before I was going to record, that happened, and it just sort of took a turn on my whole night, and really didn't feel like recording, didn't really put me in a mood. But I'm back today. I'm back fresh, recording on a Wednesday. So usually I'd record the Red Zone Report, my NFL preview, right? Especially heading into playoffs today, like right now. But that'll be coming out tomorrow for you, which I think would be a bit better. There's no Thursday night football game, no game on the Friday. So I'll have that coming out on Friday morning, which will be good because there's games on Sunday. So I'll have full information, all the player props ready to go. Obviously, best bets, that sort of thing for the podcast. But for this one here, I've got the Global Sports Roundup. I said, bringing you my latest sporting news from around the globe. Obviously, forgot to mention my NRL season previews. They're still all on Spotify. All the audio is there. I'm slowly starting to upload the videos. Again, I don't want to spam it too quickly. I'm very cautious and very paranoid now in the future. So, but yeah, slowly I've done the first 4 of what I did. I've done 10 now, so I've got 6 more to upload. Need to still upload my ladder predictor as well. Not sure if I'm going to bother with like my previous NFL ones there, because the week is all done. Same with my sporting roundups, but it would be good to have the NRL ones there to get ready for the 2026 season. But without further ado, that's my little rant there at the start there. I feel like, it's been treacherous 24 hours, but we move forward, right? We move forward. But without further ado, this episode, we're going to go through, if you are new, we go through the Women's Player of the Week. I put a spotlight on one special women's athlete or player out in the sporting world that has just absolutely killed it in the last week and deserves the limelight out there. Then we're going to go touch on the cricket. We've got the Ashes and the Big Bash. Then we're going to chat about the darts. The boy Lukey Littler gets the job done again. Then we're going to cross to our American sports, do a recap of NFL Week 18, look into the playoffs. Who do I think is going to potentially be in the Super Bowl? I think it's one of the more open years since I've started following it, like 7-8 years ago now. Then we're going to chat a bit about the NBA and the Nikola Jokic injury, and then we're going to chat a bit about the NHL at the end as well. But without further ado, let's get straight into it. Our Women's Player of the Week. We always start with the Women's Player of the Week, and mind you, first one of the year starting off, we're going to go into a bit of tennis. And mind you, not a whole lot of sport happening just yet, right? Especially in the women's game. But we've got the Australian Open coming up very soon in tennis. Plenty of sport happening around the corner. Very, very exciting. But we're going to go the American Coco Gauff, our Women's Player of the Week, number 4 ranked player in the world. So Australian Open starts in 2 weeks' time, but we have got The United Cups, couple tournaments beforehand to sort of kick off the all the tournaments in Australia. We've got the United Cup in Perth and in Sydney at the moment, which is a teams event run by country, so she is representing the US. She opened up with a strong 6-1, 6-1 win over Solana Sierra from Argentina in Perth. She absolutely destroyed her opponent, controller all over the court, really showed some top-level composure in that match as well. She did lose in the next round, though. Happy to come out and say that 3-set loss, but the way that she bounced back in the mixed doubles with her partner Christian Harrison, secure the win for the USA to get the quarterfinal spot there. And then they played the quarterfinals, I believe it was last night, and she in a singles match beat Maria Sakkari 6-3, 6-2. They were tied going into the mixed doubles again. One with Christian Harrison there, sending the US into the semis, which is happening this Saturday. So why I wanted to put this in the limelight, obviously tennis, it's the tennis season now in Australia, the tennis summer. We've got a couple tournaments, Perth, we've got Sydney, we've got the Brisbane International happening, we've got Auckland International happening as well in New Zealand. And as I said, the Australian Open starting the 19th of January. So Coco Gauff really, really hitting her stride early on to start 2026, really in good form. She is a big chance of winning the Australian Open. A couple of dominant wins there. Obviously, I had a little bit of a blip there, but a couple of dominant wins and then clutching up in the mixed doubles as well. Really does just show her resilience to bounce back from that loss, especially. That's why Coco Gauff gets my Women's Player of the Week. Elite performance at its absolute finest. All right, as I mentioned, I'm just going to touch quickly on tennis. We have the Australian Open, the first Grand Slam of the year, starting the 19th of January. Still got your qualifiers next week, starting on the 12th. They go for the week, but as I said, we've got literally Perth, we've got Sydney, we've got Brisbane, Auckland, all happening at the moment as like ATP, WTA events, also the United Cup happening at the moment. So I know like Arina Sabalenka, she's in Brisbane at the moment, world number one in the women's. I know like Nick Kyrgios has been playing the men's as well. So plenty of action. I absolutely love the Australian Open. I used to play tennis when I was a kid, and just having something on like during the day, sporting wise, come home at night, something to watch. I used to absolutely love it back in there when there was like the big 3 and 4 playing. You're going to get one of them playing at nighttime. You had the Federer or Djokovic or Nadal or like even Murray, one of them playing at nighttime each night. It was just absolutely awesome. And obviously there's so much talent coming through. Cannot wait to be watching like your Zverevs and your Sinners and your Alcarazes to come through. Going to be absolutely elite. I'm not sure who would be my pick at the moment. Probably Sinner. He's just so dominant on the hard court. And honestly, Sabalenka is probably up there, very dominant on the hard court as well. But let's get started in. Let's get ripping into a bit of cricket. Let's do an Ashes update because I'm filming this 5th test after day 4, so I do post, well, you see them on TikTok and Instagram, my daily updates after, like my day review after each day. Was posting it on YouTube Shorts as well, but not there anymore. But at the moment we've got, so England went out to bat first, got it all out for 384. Then Aussie went out, first innings, let's mention the first innings. Root got 160 in the first innings, his second century in Australia in this series so far, and obviously his second century in Australia too. So good to see Joe Root really stepping up to, I guess, the occasion here. Did get out for 6 earlier today, but Harry Brook, 84 in that innings as well. I really like Harry Brook. I think he's such a good talent. Good run rate as well, but he's not scared to bash a couple fours, but he really does, I think, keep it quite in check. Feel like he's got Travis Head vibes sort of about him for me. Australia went out to bat. Definitely a batter's pitch, which was finally good to see. Cricket Australia must be absolutely cheering with the money bags finally that we've reached a day 5 test. Australia went out to bat, pretty dominant with the bat, 567 all out as of this morning. Travis Head, again, absolute limelight, 164 for about 163 balls as well. Absolutely destroyed it once again. He's going to be it's honestly between Head and Stark. He's got to be man of the series, though. 3 centuries so far this series, the first Australian to do it since Alistair Cook first Australian, not... Do that again, mate. Do that again. First Australian since Matthew Hayden to get 3 centuries in an Ashes series. So it's been, 23, 24 years. So massive achievement by Travis Head. He obviously got one. He got one in Perth. He got one in Brisbane as well. And now he gets one at the SDG. Backed it up with Steve Smith-Mudge getting 138 on home soil as well. On Pink Day yesterday, Jay McGrath Day, which is just so cool to see. Both of them actually got their centuries on Jay McGrath Day. One of the more special days on the test calendar. Glenn McGrath's wife's passing away with breast cancer. It's honestly, 18 years ago, which is just crazy. I remember the first Jay McGrath Day and how huge that was. And now to think 18 years later, it's like a massive thing. Time just absolutely flies by. So anyway, Australia all out for 567, a huge total. Had a lead of about 183 runs heading into the second innings, and now England are currently 8 down for 302. And honestly, they looked really solid at the top. I think it felt like they were about 3 for 220 or something, and then just that last session, man, they just collapsed. There was honestly a point of England kept that partnership up. Maybe they could have put a solid total on, solid lead, declared after the first session tomorrow. Try and get 10 wickets in a day to bowl Australia out instead of total, which maybe they couldn't get. Or maybe a draw. Then they just collapsed. What do we have? Harry Brook getting out LBW just by a whisker. He was not out by Bo Webster, gets reviewed. Honestly, hitting stumps 51% of the ball. So obviously over half the ball has to be hitting the stumps to overturn the decision with DRS. Oh man, it looked like just a tick over 50%. It was so bloody close, and that just completely changed the momentum. Jacks came in after that to try and get a sort of quick 40-50, literally got out second ball. So 2 wickets in the over by Bo Webster, completely changed the innings. Ben Stokes, he's injured with a left abductor injury. He managed to come out to bat at number 9, I think. Got 2, and then he got out, nicked it off by Webster again. There was an awful run out as well, after the drinks break, and now it's at 8 for 302. They lead by 117 heading to day 5. Australia's to lose. 100% Australia's to lose. What's the sort of the game plan? England try and bat out to as far as they can. Maybe they get to lunch. After lunch, maybe a 200 run lead, and then Australia got to try and chase it down at about 50, 60 overs. No matter what total I think England set, I think Australia will be able to chase it down in the overs that's left. England would probably have to literally bat till T, I think, for Australia not to chase it down. Even then, you've got Travis Head opening. If they needed 200 from 30 overs, I reckon they've already got the Ashes wrapped up. They would just go for it. So I think Australia now $1.12 to go out and win that day 5. I definitely don't think England can win unless Australia had a massive collapse, which I don't see happening on that pitch. But forgot to mention as well, Jamie Bethel, first test century, which is very cool. 142 not out he is sitting on. Unfortunately, he's sitting with the tail enders at the end there, but massive credit to him. That's an awesome innings he's been played as well. 142 not out he is on. Absolute credit to him. Makes us all wonder, why wasn't he picked over Ollie Pope the whole series? I thought Ollie Pope was awful this series. Finally got dropped for the Boxing Day test. Jamie Bethel comes in, absolutely steamrolls it. So massive congratulations to Jamie Bethel for his innings so far. See how he can continue it, where he can get to 150. Maybe his other batsmen can stay in and get to 200. You just never know. You just don't know. At the moment, looking like a 4-1 series to Australia there. But let's continue on to the Big Bash because, oh my goodness, this season has been epic, by the way. I've been loving this season. The batting has been extraordinary. We've seen some high scores. We've seen some epic moments. I spoke about last week in this episode, 4 centuries so far in the Big Bash. Now we're up to 6. There's been 2 in the last week. So we talked about Seifert, we talked about Sammy Harper, talked about Renshaw and Wildermuth in that massive heat run chase. Since then, we've had Mitch Marsh, I think it was on New Year's Day. That one was against the Hurricanes where they got 3 for 229. He got 102 or 58. He was so bloody due for a good innings. 11 fours and 5 sixes. Just pure hitting. It was so good to watch. Aaron Hardy even got 94 not out in that same innings too. So those two put on a combined 196 runs out of 229. It was absolutely absurd to watch. Canes had no chance. They lost that one by 40 runs. And then the other one, Davey Warner, winding back the clock. He got 130, I think, of 65 balls. He was pinging around 200 strike rate, scoring 130. Crazy. It was such a good innings by the veteran Davey Warner. Still good to see. He still got it. He still bloody got it. His second century in the BBL. They got 4 for 207 or 4 for 203. Not good enough. It was not good enough in the end. The Hurricanes chased that one down. They couldn't chase down the big total against the Scorchers, but they came back and chased down 203 against the Thunder, winning that one by 6 wickets. Timmy Ward, 90 off 49. This dude's just come out of absolutely nowhere. Opened the batting with Mitch Owen. He just spanked it around, man. He looked so good out there. Unfortunately, he fell on 90 at the start of the power surge as well. Went for the stupid ramp shot. Not a good shot, and he got out. But let's have a look at the other results that's happened during that week as well. We had the Strikers beat the Heat on New Year's Eve by 7 wickets. Heat were diabolical. They got 123. I think they were literally 5 for 30, I thought, at one stage. Didn't even think they were going to get to 60. They managed to scramble to 124 or so. We had the Sixers beat the Renegades by 6 wickets on New Year's Day. Sixers chasing down 168 there, nice and easily. Spoke about the Scorchers beating the Canes by 40 runs New Year's Day in the night game by getting 229. Canes were not able to chase that down. Then the day after, he keep chasing his big totals down, man. What a game this was. They beat the Stars by 4 wickets, chasing down 199. They were gone. They were absolutely gone. They needed about 70 off the last 4 overs. So what's that? Nearly 18 and over. Maxi Bryant was not looking good. He's like 1 off 5, and he absolutely turned it on. Finished on 48 off 26, and they did it with about 2 or 3 balls to spare. Him and Xavier Butler absolutely went bonkers in that last 3 overs. It was such a good watch. Such a good watch. Sold out at the Gabba. Cannot beat it. So good. I am a Heat fan, but man, I just can't believe they keep chasing down these big totals. They're so much better chasing than they are opening the batting. If they open the batting, oh my goodness, they are not good. They are not good at all. We then, as I said, spoke about the Canes beating the Thunder by 6 wickets there, chasing down over 200 yet again. These 200 run chasers, it just, you think if you get 200 runs in a T20 game that you'd go have a good chance of winning. It just, the modern game, you just don't, it's just like a 50-50 chance, it feels like. And then we had the Renegades beating the Stars by 4 wickets in the Melbourne Derby. Josh Brown spanking 84 off 48 there, chasing down about 175 there. Did it pretty comfortably. And then we had the Scorchers beating the Strikers by 33 runs in Perth. This was real good. They got 153 for 8, which is usually pretty low up the state. And then they bowled the Strikers out for 120. Joel Paris killed it, got 3 or 4 wickets, I believe. So did Connolly. The other night, we had the Sixers beat the Heat by 3 wickets. As I said, when the Heat open the batting, they are just trash. They are just so bloody bad. In 20 overs, they got like literally 116, 117. Sixers, honestly, Heat made this a good contest. They won this by 3 wickets. They came down to the last over. Heat made this a good contest. Sixers were nowhere. I think they was 6 for 70 at one stage, and then managed to really pull it in. That was ended up being a good win by Sixers, but they were in trouble at one stage. Ollie Patterson, the new kid for the Heat, were killing it. And then we had last night, cracking game as well. Strikers beat the Thunder by 6 runs there. Strikers got about 156 or so and managed to keep the Thunder at bay, despite Davey Warner being in the whole innings. Some very clutch bowling at the end by Liam Scott. They needed 13 off the last over, kept them to 7, which is very, very impressive, or even 6, sorry. Very impressive win. Currently got the Scorchers and the Renegades happening on at the moment. I was just looking at my TV, but it's on an ad break. Perth are currently batting at the moment. Let's have a look at their score. They are currently 5 for 96 after 14 overs. We got Aaron Hardy in off 28 off 25. Connolly went low again, which is very surprising. Laurie Evans went low. Mitch Marsh, 27 off 25. Who is taking the wickets? Let's have a live. Hassan Khan has got 2 for 18 off 3 overs. That's pretty good bowling there. Sam Elliott, 2 overs, none for 8. 4 runs and over. That's pretty handy as well. All right, let's have a look at the quick ladder. Hobart, the champions, once again at the top. They are 5 from 7, sitting on 10 points. They have played one more game than a few other teams, though. So Perth is 4 from 6, just sitting 1 win behind. If they do win tonight, they will go to top with Hobart. You got the Stars there still in the top 4. So they started 4-0 though, and then they've lost 2 in a row against the Heat and the Renegades. Sitting 4-2 though, still 1 win off the Hobart Hurricanes, potentially Perth as well. They do play the Sixers tomorrow night, who are also in the top 4. They are 3-3, so they're still in the top 4. Strikers having that win last night definitely helped them. They're sitting 3-3 as well, just outside the top 4. Brizzy Heat have won 3, lost 4. They're sitting outside the top 4, which is a bit annoying. And the Renegades only played 5 matches. They're playing the 6 currently at the moment. They've only won 2 games so out of the 5. And then you got the Sydney Thunder, who have won 1 and lost 6. Poor Sydney Thunder. I think that 1 win was against the Heat as well. They absolutely destroyed them. Let's have a bit of a chat about the darts. My dad's going to absolutely love this segment, and I pretty much watched the World Darts Championship. It's been on the last 3 weeks since before Christmas, pretty much every morning. It's been on like at night, it's been on in the morning, pretty much getting it on 6 a.m. every morning, seeing a lot of the stars play, and gets juicier way at the end than it does at the start, because at the start there's 128 guys, and it cuts down to 64 and then 32. You win your first round, then you have like a 10-day break because there's so many other matches that happen, literally 5 a session, and there's only 1 dartboard, right? So like Luke Littler, he had like a 9-day break from opening night to his second round match, but then obviously decreases, goes from like, you know, you get to your 4th round, then it goes like you play like 2 days later, then quarterfinal, and then after your quarterfinal, you play like the next day the semifinal, and then you play the next day the final. So it's cool, right? You get to see the top guys at the end there play like 4 matches in like 5 days, and it's longer matches as well, and it's like you get the cream of the crop. But Luke Littler wins again, wins the World Championships. He is an absolute phenomenon. We are seeing one of the best I'm going to say athlete, one of the best sportsmen ever at the moment. He's only 18 years old. 2 world championships now, back to back. Now the 4th guy to defend his title. We had Phil Taylor, we've had Adrian Lewis, we've had Gary Anderson. Now we've got Luke Littler defending his world championship title. As I said, 18 years old. Crazy. He made the final when he was 16 as well. 3 times he's played the world championship. He's only lost 1 match. It is absolutely incredible what Luke Littler is doing on the world stage at the moment. He beat Jan van Dien, the Dutchman, 23-year-old, 7-1 in the final, averaging 106. He had 16 180s. 16. Absolutely incredible. 46% on checkouts, including a 170, the big fish. Reel it in, buddy. I love the commentators. Not on that one specifically, but I think it was the semi-final. I think it was it Gary Anderson? And he going for a 170, and he got the 2 triple 20s, and he went, here, fishy, fishy, and he went bang in the bullseye. It was so good to watch. Just absolutely nailed it. Won the big fish, like the best checkout you can do, the highest checkout you can do. So yeah, the big fish is absolute awesome to see Luke Littler as a hitting one in the final. He won 7-1. It was first to 7 sets. You play best of 5 legs to win a set, so first to 3 legs. He literally had darts to win the first set as well. He lost the first set and won 7-1, and he had darts to win the first set. Could have been a 7-0 whitewash. It's amazing how unbelievably much better he is than everyone else. It feels like the Tiger Woods version of darts, like when Tiger was in his prime, just destroying everyone. But we're seeing it with an 18-year-old in darts. It's just absurd. Absurd. I cannot get over how good he is. He hits more 180s than anyone else. I think he finished, how many 180s did he have? He had 73 180s for the tournament. 73. Like, I get 2 triple 20s and I'm like jumping and dancing, and this guy's hitting 73 over the course of 2 weeks. unbelievable 16 in one match. He did that like against Searle. He did that against Rob Cross as well. Unbelievable. Hitting a 147 to win the title. What did he go? He went triple 20, triple 19, double 15 to win the title. Didn't miss a match start at all. Absolute. It's just crazy. $1 million in prize money. Obviously, the taxman will come and get that one for him. Even the Ali Pali Wasp could not stop him. Got in his way after a dart. If you weren't aware, this Ali Pali Wasp has been hanging around like all the stage throughout the whole of the tournament, bugging players, getting them out of their groove. It did bug him for a little, like he went, whoa, 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 whoa. He was shuffling out of the way, and then he came back and just went triple 19 and 19, just so casually. He is so bloody good. It's just unbelievable. As I said, 4th player to defend the title, 1st player since 2016 to do it. Before that, he beat Rob Cross, who was a very good player. He beat him 4-2 in the 4th round. He averaged 106.5 there, 17 180s there. He beat Krzysztof Ratajski in the quarterfinal, averaging 100, 10 180s there. Then he goes and plays Ryan Searle. He beat him 6-1 in the semifinal, averaging 105, 10 180s there. And he lost the first set against Ryan Searle. Lost the first set down 1-0, win 6-1. He's an absolute freak. He won the Ballon d'Art trophy, which is for the most 180s in the whole tournament. As I said, 73. I think the next one was Gary Anderson on 58, so he won that by 15. Absolutely insane darts by Luke Littler. We are witnessing a phenomenon in the sport of darts at the moment. If you haven't watched the darts, make sure you go and watch it. All right, but from that, they always announce the Premier League lineup, which is essentially what they think is going to be the top 8 players in the world. Not done by world ranking or anything like prize money. Literally what they think is the top 8 informed players when it comes to the end of the World Championship. And it's not the last 8 guys that make it, that sort of thing. Just what they think will be the 8 best representatives in darts for the Premier League, which is their like season-long sort of thing for like the best players in the world. So they always announce it after they announced it yesterday. So we've got Luke Littler, obviously. We've got Luke Humphries, Gyan Van Veen, who made the final, Michael Van Gerwen. We've got Johnny Clayton. We've got Stephen Bunting. We've got Josh Rock. And we got Gerwin Price there. So very, very good lineup for the Premier League. That does start very soon. I think in Bahrain or Saudi Arabia, if I'm not mistaken. Dad will know when that's starting. He'll be absolutely all over it. I know he is absolutely stoked with Luke Littler. As I said, I can't get over him. He's one of my favorite athletes. He is so bloody good to watch. All right, let's touch on let's get into the American sports. Let's touch on the NFL. I'll start the NFL because it's been week 18, the last week of the regular season. We are now into the wildcard playoffs. Holy dooly, the NFL season, it sounds cliche, it just goes so freaking fast. Like, just feels like literally 3 weeks ago, I was getting ready for week 1. I was so hyped. I was counting down the days until the first red zone. And now there's no more red zone on Monday morning. And now we're into the playoffs games. There's 18 teams have been eliminated. There's 14 teams to go. But kind of the main story, but one of the stories I'm pretty psyched about is my Carolina Panthers. You see the jersey behind me if you're watching a video, making the playoffs, winning the NFC South for the first time since 2016. You love to see it. Love to see it. And we did it by losing in the last week as well. Thank you very much, Atlanta Falcons. Did us a favor. So good to see. So good to see. But we were pretty bad. We lost against the Bucks 16-14. If we won, we were in. If we lost, we still had a chance as long as the Falcons beat the Saints. But the Saints beat the Falcons. The Bucks were in. It was the craziest, literally, scenario ever. Like, those two teams, one of them, whoever wins that, like, the other two teams in the division go into the playoffs, like one of those two. Crazy, like not in your hands scenario ever, and it happens within the division as well. It's the most NFC South thing ever. But Falcons getting the dub 19-17 against the Saints, so bloody good, and we got the plus 3.5 as well. Same with the Panthers as well, and they both lost. Hell, bloody good, so good. We had Seattle clinching the number 1 seed in the NFC. They now get a first round bye, beating the Niners 13-3. Absolutely dominate the 49ers offense. They are looking so bloody good at defense. I do worry about Darnold in the playoffs. It's going to be his second playoff opportunity now, but he will have a very, very good home crowd for the divisional matchup, and then potentially the NFC game as well. To think he'd be in a Super Bowl when he was playing for the Panthers 4 years ago is, I guess pretty sad, but what can you do? We had, what else did we have here? Scrolling down, we had Texans beat the Colts 38-30. They're in the playoffs anyway. We had so the Bears lost to the Lions 19-16, but the Eagles lost to the Washington Commanders 24-17. Bears get the number 2, Eagles get the number 3 seed. Eagles did rest for that game though. We had the Rams getting the win 37-20, which means the Rams now play the Panthers in the wild card. Because if Arizona won, that would have meant Niners play the Panthers and the Rams would play Philadelphia. But now Rams play Panthers and the Niners play Philadelphia. We had the Broncos sealing the number 1 seed in the AFC, beating, they absolutely blew off the Chargers 19-3. Very clinical. Trey Lance did start for the Chargers. Dustin Herbert did not play. Broncos and Seattle getting number 1 seed. They get a week off. They will host a divisional matchup against the worst ranked team next week and potentially get their home championship game as well to bail it off for the Super Bowl. But that was not the main highlight of the week. Obviously, like, I get it. My Panthers made the playoffs. I could go on all about that. But oh my freaking goodness me. The Steelers and the Ravens game was one of the games of the year. And considering the scenario, the drama, it was for the AFC North. Whoever wins this game won the division, get into the playoffs. The loser out of the playoffs. And honestly, what's happened after this, the aftermath of this is crazy because I felt like if the result was the other way, that coach would have been gone. Steelers get the win 26-24 against the Ravens. Oh my goodness me. Let's just give it a little breakdown. It was 10-3 Ravens at halftime. Just 10-3. Massive goal line stop by the Ravens at the end of the second quarter. Huge goal line stop. And then what do we have? Steelers got brought back to 10 apiece in that one there. And then what did we have? Ravens, I think, kicked a field goal to make it 13-10. Steelers get a touchdown with, I think it was Kenneth Gainwell to make it 17-13. Coming down to the final few minutes, and then Lamar Jackson, holy dooly, 2-time MVP, nearly gets sacked, gets out of the sack and throws a 50-yard bomb to Zay Flowers for a touchdown. One of the plays of the year, makes it 20-17. 20-17 in that one there. And then, if the drama wasn't done there, we had, sorry, not 20-17. Yep. Wait, I'm getting confused with our score lines now. At one point, yeah, okay. And then 2017 to, I'm very confused with my score lines now for sure. We had, anyway, Steelers went down and scored a touchdown themselves to take the lead back. It would have been 13-10 to Steelers. Then Ravens scored a touchdown, made it 17-13 with Zay Flowers. And then Steelers go down and score another touchdown to make it 20-17 to Steelers. That's where I've got it wrong. Then Ravens, pretty much if they had a drive like the last 2 minutes to go down and kick a field goal to tie it. Another 70-yard bomb. I don't know what Zay Flowers is in his own postcode there. The most open touchdown I've seen for a very, very long time. That made it 24-20. Then we had Aaron Rodgers in a 2-minute drill step up what potentially could have been his last ever game in the NFL. One of the best quarterbacks of all time. Drives the Steelers down the field and throws it to Calvin Austin for a touchdown. Vintage Aaron Rodgers takes the lead 26-24. Missed extra point, which is huge in that fact because that meant Ravens could have gone down the field and kicked a field goal to win the game. And what happened on the halfway mark, 4th and 7, 30 seconds to go, Ravens do this almighty throw to Isaiah Likely, one of the best catches under pressure. They're now sitting at the 25-yard line. They pretty much kneel it down to get a good position for the field goal. 2 seconds to go, timeout, and you get the rookie kicker, Tyler Loop, steps up, kicks it, Ravens in the playoffs, Steelers are out. Misses it, Steelers are in, Ravens are out. And he misses it wide right. Under pressure, Steelers win 26-24. Steelers now in the playoff, host a playoff game against the Texans this weekend. And the aftermath of that, Ravens missing John Harbaugh, the coach, has been fired. And what I meant with different side of the aftermath, I feel like if the Ravens kick that, Mike Tomlin gets fired from the Steelers. It is crazy the scenario that happened there. I think it was the first ever time in NFL history that a kick has come down at the end of the game to decide like if a team, like teams make the playoffs or not in that scenario. Crazy. It was just absolute bonkers scenes. Crazy, crazy, crazy. But matchups now, I said Denver and Seattle have the number 1 seed. We've got Rams at my Panthers. We've got the Niners at the Eagles. And we've got the Packers at the Bears for a third match this year. I think the Packers get that one. We've got the Bills at the Jags. We've got Chargers at the Patriots. And we've got Texans at the Steelers in the AFC. So let's do some quick predictions then. I'm going to say the Rams beat the Panthers, unfortunately. I'm going to say Eagles beat the Niners. I'm going to say the Packers beat the Bears. I'm going to say the Bills beat the Jags. I'm going to say the Patriots just beat the Chargers. And I'm going to say the Texans beat the Steelers. Not sure how the draw works out, who would play who. I would say like the lower seed. So like Texans would play, I would be saying they play, no, they wouldn't. They would play, excuse me. So like the Packers win, they most likely would play Seattle, which would be epic. And then I would be saying I believe it'll be the Chargers. If they beat the Patriots, they will go and play Denver from there. But let's have a conversation. Speaking of Patriots, the conversation between Stafford and Drake May for the MVP. Stafford is currently a $1.50 favorite, I believe. Let's just quickly check that live on the podcast. If they've still got the odds, yes, they do. Stafford's now $1.55. There you go. Drake May $2.40. Easily a 2-horse race. But I've got the stats here to compare them both, because pretty much every MVP, like the last 20 years, has had either the number 1 or number 2 seed. Patriots are a number 2 seed. Rams are a number 5 seed, which does make it interesting there. However, when you look at the stats, definitely favors Stafford for sure. Although, completion percentage, Stafford 65, Drake May 72. Passing yards, Stafford 4,700, Drake May about 4,400. Passing touchdowns, Stafford 46, Drake May 31. Interceptions, Stafford 8, Drake May 8. QBR rating, so just how they're rated throughout the whole season. Stafford 109 to Drake May 113. And then rushing yards and touchdowns. This is pretty relevant for Stafford. He literally didn't have 1 rushing touchdown. He went -2 yards in rush, which is crazy. Drake May had 450 yards of rush for 4 rushing touchdowns. So I think Stafford will win it, but honestly, looking at that, it doesn't, it's hard because I think Stafford won a lot bigger games. Drake May had a pretty easy schedule. I think it will actually go to Stafford, which, going back to my preseason early call that Jimmy Garoppolo will play more games than Matthew Stafford, and now Stafford is the MVP. Great prediction. Great freaking prediction. But more NFL news, and we had an NFL record, which is super cool. Myles Garrett breaks the single sack record in a season with 23. Surpassing Michael Strahan and TJ Watt at 22. He sacked Joe Burrow in the last 5 minutes, which was a pretty easy sack. Like it was a pretty easy sack. But Myles Garrett breaks the record. Awesome to see. He is a freak of nature. He is absolute one of one. I don't think that record will be broken for a very long time. If it does, I think it'll be him again. He is a freak. He is so bloody good at what he does. This athlete, he is huge. He's 6'4". I made a reel about him, comparing him to Payne Haas's athletes. 6'4", 125 kilos, got abs as well. He is so strong. He is absolute beast. Massive congratulations to Myles Garrett. Let's have a quick chat about NBA. Do a little weekly review about it. Obviously, I'll start with Nikola Jokic. So last week, he just injured his knee that day off. He was getting an MRI the next day. He is a 4-week injury. They're going to reevaluate him in 4 weeks. It's now been 1 week, so you've got 3 weeks to go. And their backup center, Valanciunas, he also copped an injury. He's going to be reevaluated in 3 weeks as well for a knee injury, which is crazy, 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 right? But let's have a look. Team of the week. We're going to go with Boston. They're 3-0. They're absolutely hunting at the moment. I've got these standings here. They are 8-2. They've won 4 in a row now. 8-2 in the last 10. They had the best 3 shooting percentage in the whole league at the moment. In the last week, they went 3-0, so they're absolutely cooking at the moment. In terms of bad teams, Sacramento, yet again, 0-4 in the last week. They lost against Dallas today as well. They're now 2-8. They've lost 6 in a row. Oh my goodness gracious me. They are bad. Not very good when Russell Westbrook is there, hey? What do you know? What do ya know? But story of the week, as I said, is Nikola Jokic. But however, as I said, he's back in 3 weeks, but that does not disrupt their title hopes whatsoever, in my opinion. He's going to be back in 3 or so weeks. It dampened his MVP hopes for sure, because you do have to play a minimum of 65 games, which I think is super lame. So I don't think he'll be playing 65 games this season, but doesn't end his season, and it does end his MVP bid. I said doesn't end his season, doesn't end the title hopes for the Nuggets. They're still second favorite to go win it all. He'll be back end of January, so you still got February, March, April for the season left to go. So plenty of time left for him to get healthy. Plenty of time left. Literally, they're going to make the playoffs. They can easily win on the road, easily win series. Most likely will be, I don't know, that maybe be interesting to see. The Spurs are looking pretty good as well. OKC, though, the other one in the West that is struggling at the moment, which is very unusual. They are 25-1 to start the season. 25-1. Since they've got Jalen Williams back, they have struggled. I get they're still the favorites to win the whole championship, sitting at $2. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, still the MVP favorite at $1.22, which is craziness, by the way. However, they have gone 5-6 in the last 11 games. I've lost back-to-back. They got absolutely blown out at home against the Charlotte Hornets by 27 points. Absolutely absurd. They're now sitting at 30-7. And as I said, they were sitting at 25-1. That loss to the Spurs in the NBA Cup semi-final has completely flipped things on its head. And the momentum is swinging now, which is just, ever since Jalen Williams came back, OKC has struggled, which is really interesting, to see. So clearly they were on a run where they're unbeatable. They had one loss against Portland, and now they are definitely beatable. Spurs number 1 in the power rankings. They did have a loss. They lost to the Grizzlies today, which is unusual. OKC still have the best record in the league, right? But now Detroit is only 2 wins behind them. The Spurs and the Lakers are only 4 wins behind OKC now. So it's all very interesting. I'd say OKC will get the 1 seed, but very, very interesting. So I talked about SGA with the MVP, $1.22 now. Luka is at $5.50, essentially 2-horse race now with no Jokic there. Luka is still playing very good basketball. So, you know what, I love Luka. I don't really rate Shai. I think he's a free throw merchant. I think he just gets fouled all the bloody time. But yeah, like we talk about, like Boston's looking really good. Detroit is still looking good, right? They're 6 and they had a couple slip ups, but Boston's definitely a hot team at the moment. Only a few wins behind Detroit there. Knicks are still looking solid. You still got the Raptors up there, but the Cavs are still like struggling a little bit, but you still got the same 3: Miami, Chicago, and Atlanta in the play-in spots. Literally, what is new with the NBA? Giannis still hasn't been traded yet, although I don't think the trade window has opened yet. But he will get traded. He will get traded to, I think, the Knicks. And then your West, you've got 5 good teams. The Rockets are sort of here and there, but I said you got OKC, Spurs, Lakers, Nuggets, and the Rockets. Nuggets, they've been pulling some really good wins out of their ass even since Jokic has been gone. They beat the Raptors the first game after he's been injured, and then they beat the Sixers. Sixers are huge favorites, and they even beat the Sixers on the road in Philadelphia. Apart from that, not really too much happening. Oh, the Clippers. I keep forgetting to mention the Clippers. They're 7-3 in their last 10, and they are looking red hot. Kawhi Leonard is on absolute treacherous run at the moment. Potential they can still make the playoffs. They're only a few wins off. Memphis in the West at the moment can easily still make the playoffs. But let's finish off with the NHL, the ice hockey. Big moments this week. Islanders, holy dooly, today they beat their Devils in the same city, 9-0. Oh my goodness, 9-0. Do you know how bad you have to be to lose 9-0? Do you know how good you have to be to win 9-0 as well? Anthony Duclair got a hat-trick. Obviously had a shutout from Sorokin there as well. So it doesn't just show how good their offense was today, it shows how good their defense and goaltending was as well. 9-0 blowout. You don't see that too often. And so the Islanders, I hate the Islanders, all right? Like, I know, like, my best mate, like, I go on about it all the time. I hate the Islanders with a dying passion, right? But they're now sitting literally like 3 points off the Hurricanes in the Metro. They're sitting 3 points off the top of the Eastern Conference, which I absolutely hate. I just don't think that... something tells me they're not that good. Something tells me they'll get the first round of playoffs and they'll just lose. But other little highlights of the week, we had the Winter Classic at the start of the week. So the Winter Classic is they literally play it outdoor, which I think is cool. Although they played it in Miami, which I think is unusual considering it's called the Winter Classic. That was between the Rangers and the Panthers, defending Stanley Cup, back-to-back Stanley Cup champions. Rangers won that one 5-1. The Rangers are so bloody hard to predict at the moment. I can't pick where they're at the moment. They're sometimes good. They're sometimes really bad. They're literally still sitting second last on the bottom of the Metropolitan. They lose against Mammoth yesterday in overtime. I can't pick it. I really can't pick it. Pretty sure Shesterkin did get injured in that game as well. Zibanejad, he literally had a contribution in every single goal in that game. He scored a hat-trick and had 2 assists. They're good as good, but they're bad as bad. They are so freaking bad at home. It's not even funny. They're so bad at Madison Square Garden. It's laughable. Seattle Kraken, they are just winning games, man. They have won now 10 games in a row, I believe, which is just wicked to think about. I think it's 10 games in a row. Let me just quickly confirm. Oh, so they've had a little blip in the middle. It says they've gone 8-1-1 in the last 10 games. Oh my goodness gracious me. They're sitting 2 points off the top of the Pacific. Oh, what is this? Like, I just don't get hockey sometimes. Like, you have that. You had the Buffalo Sabres winning like 9-10 games in a row. It's wicked, man. Like, I think every team in the West at the moment, let's just have a look at the standings, every team in the Pacific Division has a negative goal differential. What? That is insane. Vegas is struggling. They're 2-5-3 in the last 10. Avalanche, they've lost 2 games in a row in regulation. They had 2 regulation losses before like those 2 games, and they've lost back-to-back against Florida and now against the Lightning in the like the Florida sort of, or like, Florida sort of spree, like what do they call it, like the trip there. Dallas have lost 6 in a row there. Like, what? I just don't understand what's going on here. Like, it's just like the Jets made the second round of the playoffs last year, and they lost 10 in a row. 10 in a row. They're sitting last in the whole league. They've got one of the best goalies in the whole league as well, which I find bonkers. And they're literally sitting at the bottom. They're sitting at the bottom. Like, Avalanche have lost 2 in a row. They're sitting 11 points clear. 11 points clear, plus 70 goal differential, and they've lost 2 games in a row. Oh my goodness, they're heavy favorites. I think they've got up here 350 to win it, 360 to win it. Oh my goodness, they're going to be hard to beat. I don't see how they lose though. I really don't. But yeah, holy goodness gracious me. Sorry, they are sitting 11 points ahead. You've got the Stars up there, the Wild's looking good, Lightning obviously beating the Avalanche today, the Canes are still looking good, Detroit Red Wings are still up there, which is good to see, the Flyers are still looking good, the Penguins as well. Very interesting playoff race coming up for sure. Connor McDavid absolutely been turning it on. I think he's had a point in his last 10 games. He is the points leader at the moment over Nathan McKinnon. Nathan McKinnon still leading the goals tally though by 7. He's got 35 goals compared to McDavid's 28. Another thing I want to mention is the number 1 pick, well, not this year, but last year, not Matt Schaefer, Macklin Celebrini for the Sharks. He's 19 years old. He's been killing it this season. He's got the 3rd most points in the league. And he has made the Canadian team for the Winter Olympics coming up, which is a massive achievement. So massive congrats to him. But yeah, Nathan McKinnon still got the best plus minus going on in the league at 48. Plus 48 at the moment, which is so bloody good. But yeah, that is your NHL weekly review. That will do it for this week's episode of the Global Sports Roundup, giving you your latest sporting news from around the globe in the last week. Shout out again to Coco Gauff, the Women's Player of the Week for the Skooshi Sports podcast, having a very resilient win in the tennis at the start of the year in the United Cup in Perth there. We went through the Ashes, sort of recap there, literally into day 5. The last day of the Ashes is tomorrow. It's flown by again. Talked about the Big Bash a little bit as well. Talked about Luke Littler, world champion once again in the darts. And then we crossed over to our American sports, heading over to Wildcard Weekend this week. Shout out to my Panthers also making the playoffs, NFC South champions. So bloody pumped about that, although I do think we probably get rocked this week against the Rams. Then we chatted a bit about the NBA. Nikola Jokic's injury there. How the standings are looking. OKC on the down slump at the moment there. I think Giannis is also going to get traded, as I said, in the trade period coming up there. Then we spoke about the ice hockey at the end there. Avalanche still cooking, even though 2 losses in a row. Winnipeg lose 10 in a row, sitting bottom of the league, which is outstanding. Dallas have lost 6 in a row as well, still sitting second. And Macklin Celebrini makes the Canadian team for the Olympics coming up this month as well. I think that's in Rome in Italy. Awesome episode there. Thank you so much for watching. As I said, make sure that please subscribe to the new channel. All the drama that I've had would mean a lot. You subscribe to the new channel. Let's get this built up once again. Make sure you give it a like, share it around to all your friends as well. I'll be here tomorrow doing the Red Zone report for Wildcard Weekend coming up as well. Thank you so much for watching, and cheers.